Hello, everyone. My name is LeeAnne's. Hopefully you're here for the CIS Leads demo. What I'm going to accomplish today is a quick overview of our website and give you some information about the company itself, just so you have some background. So before we get started, I'm going to do just that. So CIS, if you're unfamiliar, we are a local project lead service based here in New Jersey for the last 32 years. We're started by a civil engineer. His name's Don Colabella. His daughter, Chris, is our president. He basically started this company out of his own frustration with project information not being timely or accurate or detailed at all. So he wanted to cover a really small geography, but to know everything that goes on within that geography. So as a company, we cover 2 states, New Jersey whole state, Delaware whole state. In Pennsylvania, it's the 5 surrounding Philadelphia counties. And then we also cover New York City, Long Island, and Southern New York state makes up Rockland, Orange, and Westchester counties. So that is our whole footprint of what we cover in CIS. And we're doing both public-owned projects and private as well. So let's get started. Okay, so for today's purposes, this demo is geared toward electrical contractors, building, utility, road, as well as suppliers. It is primarily what we're looking at today is the southern New Jersey region, which is Monmouth, Ocean, Burlington, down to Cape May and everything in between, as well as southeastern PA, which is the 5 Philly counties, and the state of Delaware is in here as well, just to give you an idea of what we're focused on today and what category of work we're going to be focusing on. So hopefully, if that fits your criteria, we're good to go. Anyway, so what I'm going to do first, walk you through the home page. So my desktop is your home screen. No matter where you're in the website, you can click this button, as these buttons to the left here will stay static on our website. This section, we have some saved reports we start every company with, and then I created a custom one down here just to give you an idea of how the custom reports look when they're saved on our website. Off to the right, think of this as a quick search, like Google. So you're trying to find one thing quickly. You're not going to search the word electrical and find every electrical job. That's not what this is for. This is a quick job. I'm looking for XYZ project, contractor, sub, whatever. And we'll get into that shortly. Now, this is what I call your tracking buckets. So this will be very important. This is where you're going to hold on to your really important projects. So when there's updates, which I'll get into on here, it'll allow you to see the updates on projects and also any contractors you bid to or you bid against. You want to keep an eyeball on. Nobody knows what you're tracking, so feel free to track away. So before we get started, I first want to go over our daily report. So we update our service Monday through Friday. So this report changes every single day. And what we're looking at today is just Thursday's new and updated reports for new buildings additions, specialty rehab work, roads and bridges, and underground heavy marine and utility work. So that's to give you an idea of what we're looking at. This has not been drilled down to electric yet, which I will, but I just want to give you a quick example of how it looks. So on the report, you'll see 5 tabs to the top: pre-planning, planning, and negotiated. The 3 outer tabs are primarily devoted to private work. There will be some public forecasting in here, but mostly it's going to be private work. Versus out to bid, and bid results are going to be mostly the public projects that just came out for bid today, and any updates, and then the bid results from yesterday. So again, 1-day snapshot. I'm going to give you a quick example of each of these categories, and then we're going to create a customized report to pull out the electrical bids. So pre-planning is the earliest stage of private work. It's conceptual, it's sketch plan, zoning, fundraising, things like that. And just to give you some ballpark of what we're covering with private work. So private work is new construction and additions of commercial buildings that are 5,000 square foot and greater, residential, 10 dwelling units and more. So that's to give you some premise. Public work, it's everything. Local, county, state, federal, any shape or size, new, renovation, whatever. We have all of it. So in pre-planning, the earliest stage, one of them is flagged as brand new in Delaware. We have one in Doylestown, Philadelphia, and Plumstead. So I'm just going to randomly click on this warehouse in Doylestown. So this is how private projects look in the pre-planning stage, the earliest stage. All projects at the top right, you'll see the date when we first published this on our website. And with private work, I think it's best to go to the description first before you waste any time reading any of this information, because you don't want to, waste time if the job is not a good one. So go to the description, see it's construction of 150,000 square foot warehouse with 300 parking spaces and 4 loading bays. Shock of all shock that they're building another warehouse. I know. Last 5 years has been warehouse crazy. So if you like the description, you want to move on to the planning notes. So it looks like this has actually just been withdrawn. It kind of reviews back in February of this year that they had a sketch plan presented. So this is an update. This is kind of not going anywhere. But say it was, for our purposes right now, you have a design firm listed, developer, location, kind of typical of how they look. And this section over here, if it was a good project, you can hit track to throw in that track bucket on the homepage we just discussed a second ago. And you can also add if you're bidding sub or supply, you can add yourself as interested on this project. I'm literally under a fake LeeAnne construction. But for your own purposes, it would add your company in there. Okay, so that's a poor example, honestly, of pre-planning because it's not happening. But we'll move on to planning. So planning is the final approval before the planning board. So we look at this self-storage in Dennis. These are all updates today. So we've already had them on our website. So we can come down to the bottom again. This was published by us in July of 2022. So it looks like I have a new plan, construction of a self-storage facility that will consist of 4 storage buildings of 24,000 square foot and so forth. You can see the original plan here. If we see there's more information on the notes, the original notes will be at the bottom, which is really great. So if you want to see what has happened in the history of a project, you can kind of look back in time. So it looks like this is going to get reviewed before the Dennis Zoning Board on 8/24. You have engineer, attorney, location. Both pre-planning and planning projects do not have GCs awarded yet. GCs are looking at it. So it's really great if you're acting as a sub, you can track it and add yourself as interested on the project. Now, negotiated. So negotiated is a private bid result, meaning a GC has been awarded, but it can be in any phase of construction. So if we were to look at this Robbinsville one, for example, we can take a look on here and we can see the developers, Denholtz Properties, they're also acting as the GC. So that's why it's in this section, because the GC has been named on this project. You have design firm listed on here. Again, your description, you can see that as of 8/2, site work is underway, and you can kind of, again, look at the history of the approval process as it went through. And as projects get, more and more through the board, you'll see more and more people adding themselves interested on the project as well. So that is the negotiated. Out to bid is basically, these are the brand new public jobs that just came out for bid yesterday. They were listed in a local paper or online. And to give you an example, you know what? I'll click on this one just to give you an example because it's a rebid. Well, maybe I'll even look at this one. So this is a project, how they look when they first come out for bid. So it's published up here, the bid due date and time are here. You have your location, owner, design firm, document, meeting information, bid guarantee, pre-bid meeting information. Now, if it was mandatory, it would say in bold writing mandatory. This one is not. What kind of contract may or may not have a description on day one. And the reason I clicked on this project is I noticed it was a rebid. So any rebids will have in the notes section on our website a click through to the original bid. So this one bid in May of this year. And you can see the description of the project, what was in here the first time. And also that all these bids were rejected and who did bid them. And there was alternates in here and base plus alternates. You'll be able to see the entire bid result. So that is an example of how they look brand new and what a rebid looks like. And then updates. These are projects that have already been out for bid, but something has changed. Could be one guy's picked up a set of plans, could be a cost estimate was released, could be a bunch of different things. I'm just going to click on this random job here and I can see on this project, there's more of a description now. So I can see exactly what kind of work is on here. Is my work involved? And the owner isn't releasing plan holders, but you can see a lot of companies have already added themselves as a plan holder. So, which is nice. So you can reach out to them, and they're basically doing that because they want subs to reach out to them. And there is a button at the top where they can add themselves as a plan holder. Excuse me. Okay. And the last tab of this daily report is bid results. So these are the previous day's bids. So if we look in here, we can just kind of see, this is where I kind of put my money where my mouth is we're local. We have reporters literally on the street hunting things down. They will attend bid openings. They will pick up local town papers. They'll comb through planning and zoning board meeting minutes. So we're very grassroots in how we work, very different than the national companies because we're local and just cover this piece, but we cover it very, very well. So you can see every one of these projects bid yesterday, and we have the bid results today. So this Audubon Senior Center restroom project, you can see that Jesco was the low bidder. Their number is here, but if you want to see the entire bid result and what it looks like, you can click on it. And it'll give you everyone's bid numbers. You can see who bid it, what their numbers were, how much they did or didn't leave on the table, and so forth. So if I'm in here, and I don't know who Jesco Construction is, and I want to learn a little bit more about them, I can click on them, and it's going to bring me to their profile page and any 3-year bidding history that they have on here. And if this is somebody I want to keep an eyeball on to bid sub to, I can hit this little bullseye here and track the company, which I'll show you where that goes in a second. Some contact names. I can see they're a veteran-owned business. They're building GC. I can go to their website, and I can see some other projects, this what low bid as well as this other bid. And I can see projects they bid that they were not the low bidder on, but still bid them. And I can go and click any of these if I want to see who got it and things like that. So, and then you can also kind of go back to this report. If you're like, hey, J.H. Williams is somebody I bid to, again, you can track them. You can see if you bid to them, generally, you can see they're holding 6 sets of plans, and these are the different projects they're holding plans on. And you can take a look and decide if you kind of want to go after it. The Senior Citizen Center in Oak Lynn, and you can kind of get some more information on this project that they're holding plans. I'm sure some other people will pick up plans as well. All right, so that is 1 day's worth of information on our daily report. Under it is new and updated since my last view. If you miss a day, you're out sick, you can see what you missed. The next report is your filing cabinet. This is where all the public work is based on our categories of work. So there's 391 projects currently out for bid for public work. But what we're going to do here is create a customized report. So basically, we're going to take all the public work out of this 391, and we're going to just look at electrical bids. And we can do it for public and private work. I have a private work set up initially to show you because I think they're better to see, they're easier to see. So when you're creating a custom report, don't think you need to do this every day. It's a whole process. This is really day one information to pull out what you don't know. And then after that, you literally look at the daily report for 5 minutes, and that's how long you would use our site per day and know everything that's going on around you. So for our purposes right here, we're going to uncheck the public work. The private work. We're going to look at the public work, and I can go back 3 years worth of bid results. I'm just going to do 90 days for our purposes right now. And then I'm going to get rid of the categories that don't matter. And I'm looking at all the trades where electric can be found. If I only do building trades, I'm going to uncheck these. And then I can come and do keywords. So we have some custom keywords already set up for like building electrical. It's going to populate a bunch of words over here. I can also pick words off the list if I want to only hit a couple words on here. I can also say, you know what, I have some utility folks on here, and I want to look at pumps and pumping stations and underground electric and whatever random words I want to pick. And then I can focus on geography. So we're looking again at Mercer, Monmouth, Ocean, Burlington, South. If I just want to look at South Jersey and I don't want to look at PA and Delaware, I'm just going to look only at South Jersey right now. And I'm looking at public work. So this is 1 day's worth of information. So this, we're going to put 100 on a page. There's 145. So we took about half of that list, which is great. So not every one of these is going to be a perfect project for you, but this is one time you want to make sure you kind of look through and don't miss anything. So you can kind of see there's a parking lot in Keansburg for an elementary school. So again, you can kind of track these jobs, see when it's bidding, what the cost estimate was, when did we publish it, any kind of a lot of requirements on this project. You can see lighting, curbs. So this is relatively new put out. So this, you'll probably see some people add themselves as a plan holder, and you'll see probably a little bit more of a description on here show up, but that's kind of typical early on how they look. There's an audiovisual in New Jersey State. You can kind of go through vehicle charging station, There's wood crustacean platform in Collingswood. So again, you can kind of look at this project and see information that there's lighting. And it'll also highlight your words in the description. So if you have a really big description and you're kind of lighting up like a Christmas tree for for electric. So for those of you on the call, this might be a good one for you. Could be. Again, this is, so we know what the project is. It is the wood crustacean platform rehab in Collingswood. And then again, you can kind of scroll through each one of these. There's electrical equipment bid in Burlington County Bridge Commission is the owner. There's another one in Fairhaven for a community center. Kind of scroll through one in Medford here, Cape May Courthouse. And you can kind of scroll through Egg Harbor Township and take a look at some of the bids that are currently out that might be of interest, you know, and then anything that by the name looks interesting or by the town looks interesting, then take a click on it and see if this is a good one for you. Again, you can also go to, we'll start at the bottom here, actually. I'm sorry, I'm jumping around here. These are the ones starting with the most recent bid date. So I always say go to the last page and work your way backwards. The last thing you want to do is take yourself off that you can bid something. So there's electrical services in Salem. Egg Harbor Township has some sports lighting. Again, you can kind of look through these. And again, this is a one-time thing. You're going to kind of look through these. There's one in Mays Landing, behavioral classrooms in Burlington City. So again, if you're like, oh, let me take a look at this project, you can go in and see your words that will be, again, might be another good one. This one's lighting up massive. So this could be a good electrical bid. So again, if it's a good broad project, you're going to track it and see when is it bidding, when did it come out, kind of go from there. Okay. So that report is for public-owned projects. And the same thing, if you want to go back and see the bid results, you can do that too. So for private work, those of you who do mostly private work on here, I'm going to wrap up quickly because I realized we took it a little too much time on the reports. But you can see, again, your areas like Deptford, there's a residential home, Lakewood, there's Langhorne, Lawrenceville, King Station. Just giving you a quick idea of some of the stuff that's happened in the last month. Stockton's always doing something, right? And again, you can click on this and see the expansion at Stockton. And it's giving you a hyperlink to the completed phase 2 project. And this is the mixed use project. And again, you can see some history of what's happening on that job as well. So in private work, there has been 61 in the last month, 89 in planning, and negotiated has 111. So you're looking at in the 1 month about 250 projects just circling for private work only in the last month, which is a great deal of work happening. So it lets you know the market is really pretty healthy. You can see target dates when things are expected to break ground. And negotiated, remember, every one of these has a GC, but they're in any phase of construction. Maybe didn't start yet, permitting, whatever. You can kind of scroll through that as well. Okay, over this section, this is what I call your quick search section. So if you want to find something quickly, you can narrow down by your region. Again, if I'm looking for a project, say it has the word pine in it, I'm going to look for any project that has the word pine. I can say, oh, this Pinehurst job. If I start typing in Pinehurst, it's going to narrow down to that project. So if I just want to find a quick bid someone calls me about, I can do that. I can also come in here and look for subs. So GCs who use our service will automatically come in and try and find their subs from here, whether you're adding yourselves as interested or they're looking in our construction directory themselves. Directory we built about 8 years at the request of our clients because they kept saying they really loved our information but wanted to find their subs without having to leave. So that's kind of why this was built. So if I want to look at heavy or building electrical, it'll give me a list of 507 companies that will do building electrical in Southern New Jersey. Not that they're from South Jersey, they'll do work here. So you can actually sponsor this category of work and be at the top of the list as opposed to, you know, being, if your company begins with like a P, you're on page 15. So it's relatively inexpensive, but it's a really great idea to do. And to give you an example of how they look, I'm just clicking on one for paving contractors. You can kind of see how the ad would look above the rest of everyone else's names. So that's a really great option to do. And on a searchable page, the search bar goes to the top. So if I want to search something else, again, I can search for material suppliers, equipment dealers, architects, engineers, owners, and kind of go from there. Now, the tracking, I'm 2 minutes over, so I'm going to wrap this up really quick. The tracking feature, this is tracking contractors, and tracking projects. So this is what it looks like when there's an update. It's telling me I have 3 companies that have had some change since I was last on here. So I want to click on it. I'm tracking 7 companies in alphabetical order, but I can see Epic just picked up a set of plans. And if I generally been sub to them, I can click on them and say, okay, well, what did they just pick up plans on? And I can come here and see that they're picking up plans on this Lakehurst project. And then I can click on the project and see a little bit more about the information and see if it's something I want to take a look at as well. It's bidding on 810. And I can see the description in here. Electric is on here, obviously. And I can kind of look through the list and have more of a description of the job. And this is what I was saying earlier about how the owner sometimes won't release plan holders, but people will add themselves as a plan holder too. So you can see all the companies who are holding plans on this Lakehurst project. And once I come back here, you're going to see that now there's 2 updates. That contractor is still tracked, but there's no update to look at anymore. Same thing over here with projects. So once I find a good job and I track it, it's safely in here until I delete it. But I can see I'm tracking 25 projects. The ones at the top, the 6 or 7 at the top, are the ones flagged as updated. So I can quickly look at it and see what just happened on the job. So that is a quick tutorial of CIS and what we're about. There is also real quick a sub request section that contractors will post requests if they're looking for subs on projects. The company name is here. The project is at the top. So subs can go in there and look to see who's looking for subs as well. So this was meant today to be like a very brief overview of CIS. If any of you are interested in doing a demonstration with me, please fill out the form, or you can call. My phone number is up here and email is up here. Feel free to give me a call, shoot me an email, and I can do a really catered one to your company that would be relatively quick because we kind of did a review already. So you can be catered, like basically catered to what you do specifically, because we have a lot of different people on the call today. What else was I going to say? So basically that's it, an overview. I just wanted to kind of show you everything that CIS can do, but at the end of the day, it's really 5 minutes a day of your time and you will not miss work because again, our outside reporters hunting it down every day. So thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me today. I appreciate your time and feel free to reach out. I'd love to meet with you and discuss your company individually. Take care. Bye-bye.